What if the most romantic character in your story is also the most dangerous one? What if the reason your stories aren't growing isn't talent, but isolation? Welcome to the Dark Fiction Podcast, where we celebrate all things dark fiction creations for fun and profit. So today we are talking about what makes a Yandere, one of my favorite character types. And I want to say that we are recording live, so hopefully nothing goes too crazy. I'm trying to make my life a little bit easier. Some of you may already know that my mother is a little sick and it's taking up quite a bit of time. So if I can not edit too much, that will be great because editing is time consuming. So just letting you know, if you hear a little more this or that than usual, that's probably why. One of the things I absolutely love about Yandere characters is their devotion. And they don't have to be just female. They can be male characters too. You'll see it in, you'll see this type in a lot of shifter romances. The I will burn the world for her. The girl who smiles sweetly while holding the knife. They don't really they want love, but their kind of love has a really strong possessive element to it. And the basic Yandere formula is devotion plus obsession plus moral collapse in service of love. It is a delicious, delicious type, and I really resonate with it because I myself am quite the jealous lover. As a note, as long as everyone's on board with how you're doing your kind of love and your partner's okay with you being jealous, there is nothing wrong with what two people agree to do together, as long as you're not breaking any laws. Obligatory disclaimers. So it's obsession, jealousy, possessiveness, and absolutely fun to watch. The person who is beloved becomes the Yandere's complete reason for existence. Without that character, without that love interest, they feel that they can't live. So their identity fuses with the main character. They also do protective violence. This is harm that is framed as caretaking, like putting spikes down to damage their tires so they don't go somewhere that they shouldn't go, or stabbing potential other lovers so that they don't stray, because that would be bad for them. The Yandere knows what's good for her love interest, whether her love interest agrees or not, or his love interest agrees or not. The Yandere believes in emotional exclusivity. They accept no rivals, no divided attention, and no escape. So they are pretty possessive one-on-one type lovers. Why do we love this character? We love this type of character because at its core, the Yandere wants you so much that they cannot control themselves, and people desire deeply to be wanted so deeply. So it's like, it's hyper choosing. It's you are the only one for me. People want to feel like they are the only one for someone. Yandere leans into intensity over stability. That is attractive to a lot of readers and a lot of people because our lives are kind of boring. We punch the clock. We send it on down the line. We do so many mundane things that we are looking for some meaning, some feeling in our life. And the Yandere gives us that in a very, very intense way. And ultimately, there is an illusion of ultimate safety. With the Yandere, they will take care of you. They'll make sure nothing goes wrong. They're devoted to you. What's great about the Yandere as a character in dark fiction is that you can explore unsafe dynamics in a safe way. You can explore power reversal and emotional exaggeration. A lot of us are walking around with very big feelings, and we would like to express them, and we don't. We hold it in. And watching the Yandere is kind of cathartic because you can see what it's like to express those feelings. If you are creating a Yandere character, here are some ways that you can build them. You want to start soft. Generally, they're very, very caring. They want to give care. It just goes completely off the rails. Let them lead with devotion. They are devoted to their target, their lover. They bring food. They do everything for them. Give them logic. Show how it's logical for them. They might have an abandonment wound. They might have a need to care wound. Explore those wounds and show how it logically makes them want to be more devoted to the people. The wound could be, I grew up abandoned, so if I give care, I will receive care. That may be their logic. It may not be logical at all, but you need to show that they have some kind of logic that they're operating on. And then let them escalate slowly. Don't crank it up from 0 to 10 in one scene. Let them escalate in stages. And let them believe that they're doing the right thing. Inside the Yandere's head, they think they're doing the right thing. It is the ultimate... Even the villain thinks he's the hero of his own story. And the scariest Yanderes, they're not chaotic. They're very calm. They know exactly what they're doing. There are some great Facebook skits of a woman who is very possessive of her boyfriend, and she's always so calm until she isn't. And that is amazing. She calmly shanks people and goes on with her life as if it's the normal thing to do. And that's what we're looking for in a good Yandere. What do you think about the character type, the archetype? Let us know in the comments. We're interested. All right, moving on to part 2. Part 2 of the Dark Fiction podcast. We are going to talk about how important community is. Let me start with talking about my day job, actually. I teach English as a foreign language. A lot of my students have spent a lot of time reading and writing English, but not speaking. So we work on speaking a lot. But why is it that you can read and write, but you can't speak? It is a different process. And you have to move the vocabulary and everything through your brains from the reading and writing to the speaking area of your brain. It helps you process it and creates a new understanding of what you're working with. This is the crux of community. When you share your ideas into a community, a lot of times writing online, but preferably if you can get on a voice chat and talk to people, you move it through your brain, you get more ideas. And also talking to a community, they feed ideas back to you. So the sharing of ideas gives you more material to work with, more things to create. It also gets you out of isolation, especially if you're working with dark fiction. For many years, I spent a lot of time thinking nobody is going to like what I write, nobody is going to like what I create. And then I found the community. And I know that they like, and I don't need to tone stuff down. Nothing is too dark for the audience that I'm working with. You get this sense of freedom when you know you're among your people. Instead of over editing or censoring yourself or playing small, you can see other people doing similar and different and darker things than you, and that'll give you the confidence to move forward in your own area. So you get that sense of reflection, the sense of courage, momentum, and permission, especially when you get like really good feedback, like that scene wrecked me, or that concept is brilliant. I was taking a class, and in the community we were talking about I just tossed out an idea, and the idea was like an Alcoholics Anonymous for villains, where they would try to not be a villain anymore, and they would go out and they would fail and they would have to come back and try again. And I got a lot of feedback on that idea. It's an idea I may or may not use, but you get a lot of ideas. And what we had been talking about in the class ultimately inspired that idea. So by being in a class, by talking, I learned more. I came up with ideas. Dialogue is so important, and using prompts. If somebody gives you a writing prompt, I know we're strapped for time, but if you can find 5 minutes a week to spend some time working on a writing prompt, it's going to give you the new ideas that you want. You don't get better alone. You become braver together when you're working with your community. Not just with technical tools, but also with support. And I've been in communities, and the thing that inspires me the most, like in every community, there's going to be the person who is making the big bucks. I don't find that inspiring. What I do find inspiring is the people who are just like me, and they're maybe 2 or 3 steps ahead of where I am, and they are making adult money doing what they're doing. It shows me that I can do that too. I see these people in my communities doing it, and they are not that different from me. A couple of tweaks, and I could be doing what they're doing. And that's the way it works. And then you step up again, and you step up, and you step up, and then you're the one who's making the big bucks. It's important to see every stage of what you're going through, from the creation to the final product, and see how everyone is working with that. And when you have the community, it gives you that vision into it. Creating your fiction in isolation, danger. Isolation in creativity and isolation is stagnation. So get out there and find a community. You can join the Dark Fiction Café on School for free. I'll have the link in the show notes. There is a paid tier. You don't need the paid tier. You can chat away with the community. You're absolutely welcome there for free. And in closing, I just want to say, stay obsessed with your art, but don't create it in isolation. Thank you for listening to the Dark Fiction Podcast, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye for now.